and welcome back to season 6. I know, 6 of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. Well, welcome back. It's the Friday before Sunday's match down with the Chicago Bears down the street with the Las Vegas Raiders. And we're going to talk about the game, give a little stats, and what I think will happen this week. And it you know what, it is, I'm in a good mood because it was such a nice win last weekend, wasn't it? Because they played really, really well. And that's what they need to continue to do week in and week out. And we're going to talk about that. And a buddy of mine, I have two buddies who do a live podcast called Bears Country Production. Dan, his nickname is Shorty, and Foster do that. You know, it's either Thursday or Friday nights, and I apologize, you guys, for not knowing what your show is. But Foster said the nicest thing. He said to me, it's this week in the comments, he said, "It is so nice to see you happy." Thank you, Foster. It's so, because the Bears, all they have to do is win, and we'll all be happy. All of our Mondays and week until the next game makes us happy, right? So thank you, Foster, and thank you all for watching me and turning me on every week. Boom, boom. And I appreciate it because I've been having some good viewers. I have my loyal ones that are there week in and week out for the last 6 years. And I've welcomed new ones, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. So let's get to it, okay? So, as I said, we're playing the Las Vegas, first wrong thing, Las Vegas Raiders this Sunday. Down the street from me, 10 minutes at that. And you know what? That stadium is a very nice stadium. Biggest problem is they don't have real parking around there. You can park. A lot of businesses will let you park for like $30, or you can, a lot of the hotels run shuttles with buses back and forth. So it's not that big of a deal. But yes, down the street this Sunday. It's a 3:30 game for you guys. It's a 1:30 game for us. The Raiders, whether between Vegas and California, the Bears have played 17 times, and the Bears are winning right now. They have 9 wins with the Raiders 8 wins, and their very first meeting was in December of 1972, and one of those wins was here in 2021, and I went with my son. You can see, like, there's a Raiders thing right there. It says Raiders versus Bears, October 10th. And my son and I went. I thank my daughter-in-law's father for giving us his season tickets, and the Bears won that game. So I want to go. If you watch my show, you know I've talked about it, but the tickets started out at $400. That's just ridiculous. And after looking into this and reading in it, Vegas is the highest price football ticket in the United States. Shocking, I know. So, but there is an app, and if you don't know it, it's called Game Time app, and you can get Game Time tickets at the last minute, and I've been watching them for 2 weeks, and they're starting to go down. My problem is I just want one ticket. My son and his daughter, Jesus, he's only 36. My son and his wife, pickled, God, wife are going, courtesy of her father's season ticket, so they'll be there. So I can hitch a ride with them. So we'll see. I won't know if I'm going to be there until Saturday night probably, or early Sunday morning. I'll try one last time to see if I can get a ticket in my price range, because I'm just not going to spend a ton of money. I've seen the Bears many, many times. I saw them last year. If you know, I saw them. I saw me and my sister. She flew from Tennessee. I flew from here, and we saw them for $225 total in Soldier Field, and we had pretty decent seats, and they won. Actually, that was the last game they won until the very last game of the season. So I do bring them luck. Anyways, so All right, let's get to it. So I do a little stats here to compare the teams. Of course, we're only in week 4, but we're starting, as I've been saying, you start to find the identity of your team. By week 4, you should know what you have. Because I always say, because preseason is not the same anymore, so it takes us a while to get all the stupid errors, stupid penalties, and get your team meshing as one, and it's starting to happen. It showed for the Bears last week. Let's hope it continues. So here are some stats. The Bears are averaging passing, and these are out of 32 teams, 233 yards. That makes them 11th in the league. The Raiders are averaging 248 yards, and that puts them 6th in the league. So they can pass the ball. That's for sure. The rush game, neither one of us have a rush game. I can't even believe the Bears are 15th, but they average 113 yards a game, and that puts them 15th. And a lot of those yards come from our quarterback, Cabe. Raiders are even worse than us. They don't have a run game. They are averaging 72 yards a game, and that puts them 30th out of 32 teams. So that's good for us because our defense still has a problem stopping the run, and the injuries certainly don't help with that. The Bears have been scoring an average of 25 points a game. That puts them 9th in the league. Raiders are scoring an average of 17.7, and that puts them 26th in the league. So, we're a little better there. The Bears, we are not good at this at all so far because of that Detroit game. That's what really hurt the Bears. They're allowing, by their defense, are giving up 31 points a game. That puts us 28th out of 32 teams. And the Raiders are allowing an average of 24 points allowed against them, and that puts them 21st in the league. So, the biggest thing is they're way better in the pass. Well, they're 6th, we're 11th. Neither one of us have a running team. The biggest thing in the difference that I see is we're scoring more points right now. So, and then this will tell you why. So, let's just compare our quarterbacks. Cabe Williams currently has thrown for 715 yards. He has 7 touchdowns with only 1 interception, and that is huge. That's an awesome ratio, and he's been sacked 6 times. So, let's keep these sacks down. Last week, courtesy of a viewer, and I thought I was right, but that was the first game since he's a Chicago Bear he was not sacked, if you can believe it. So got to keep that up. And then Geno Smith, who is now the quarterback for the Raiders, he has thrown for 831 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. See, not a good ratio. So I like that, especially after last week with our guys all of a sudden getting a taste of an interception, how great that is. So hopefully they get more of those this week. It'll only help our defense. And this is the next best part. He's been sacked 12 times. Yeah, so that's a bright spot for us, right? That hopefully our line can get to him more. And the thing about, let me go back to Williams with his sick, what's really going to hurt us is their defense is average, as we've shown, but they have Max Crosby, and this guy's a beast. So I am concerned about him. We'll discuss that as we get down into my notes why. But there's the similarities with our run. And on paper, Smith, yes, has thrown more yards, but our quarterback, Williams, has 7 touchdowns to only 1 interception, and this guy, Smith, is 4-4. So let's hope that interception for Smith keeps growing, and at least the Bears get 2. Our running back, Swift, who I do not like, and I'm not going to go on and on about it. He has a total of 149 yards with 1 touchdown. Their running back, see, we're both right there, Gentry, he has 144 yards with 1 touchdown. So we're both exactly the same. So both teams are struggling with the run game. So one team's going to come out better this week because they have to. So let's hope it's us. And our leading wide receiver, I only named one, they're actually exactly almost the same except for the touchdown ratio. So Rome is leading all of our wide receivers. Our number 15 Rome, he has 227 yards received with 4 touchdowns. Right on, Rome, baby. And then Myers is their leading wide receiver with 228 receiving yards, 228 to no touchdowns. So Rome 227, Myers 228. So they're right there. Okay, talented wide receivers. Let's get Rome some more touchdowns on Sunday, right? The Bears defense, they have 5 sacks. The Raiders have 7 sacks. So we're right there. Got our lines got to step up again. This is the best part. Our defense has 4 interceptions, 1 fumble, forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. The Raiders have 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. So we're pretty much even. We've got more interceptions. Let's hope that continues, okay? Okay, now for the depressing part of the show, the injuries. Basically, the Raiders, as of today, now it is 11 o'clock, I think, here in Vegas, which makes it 1 o'clock your time in Illinois, and I don't wherever the other people are, but we're behind you all. And as of right now, this was the injuries for us. And the injuries for the Raiders was 1 guy. And he was questionable. So lucky them, right? Okay, these are our injuries as of now. I have not seen Friday's injuries, so probably going to change, but let's hope it changes for the good. Of course, number 53, Edwards, our wonderful linebacker from Lake Villa, Illinois. Gordon, number 6, our backfield guy. Number 50, Jarrett. He's a defensive tackle. 84, Loveland, our tight end rookie. And this is the one that really hurts. Number 58, Darnell Wright, our right tackle on the offensive line. Ouch. None of these guys practiced. Did not practice. Now, the one right now, of course, we'd love to have Edwards and Gordon back, but we know that's not going to happen. I mean, we're not getting a lot of information, but man, if we had Edwards and Gordon in there, and even JJ, but he is on IR right now, the defense would look a lot better. So we are so banged up, and I would just love to get these guys back, but I doubt it. Now, Jarrett, I don't know. That was a new one to me. I found. I don't know if he'll come back. I hear Loveland, the tight end, will be out there, but it doesn't matter because we have Cole Kmet. But what worries me most is 58, Darnell Wright, our right tackle. Need this guy because of, and I just forgot his name. Oh my God, the Beast from the Raiders. So he is so good. I really can't believe I forgot his name. I just said it 5 minutes ago. You're all probably saying it, and I'm like, I know. God, what is it? Oh, God, oh, God. Anyways, I'm worried about this. We've got to have all of our offensive linemen together. You saw how well that line played last week. It was great. You know, first time he doesn't have a sack in a year or a little over a year and a half. So we got to continue. Max Crosby is a beast for the Raiders. So we've got to have. So I'm really hoping that they just kept right out just to keep him fresh and healthy, and he will play on Sunday. So I'm hoping today's injury report reflects that, so we'll see. Now, number 30 through 33, Jalen Jones, our cornerback, and number 4, Swift, we're both limited. They're both going to play, I'm sure. So I'm not overly worried about that. But I wanted to let you know this. Do you know that the Bears have 7 players that can play on IR? Yeah, that's a lot to start the season. That just sucks, you know. I mean, it really does. So, the injury bug has killed us. But I got to tell you, there's one team out there, the San Francisco 49ers. half their team, I swear, is injured. You go and look at their injury report. It is incredible. So when you think about that and you think about the Bears, you think, okay, it could be way worse. But injuries have just killed us early on this season. And next week, after this game, Sunday, we have our bye, which I was like, oh man, our bye is early. But it may be a good thing because maybe the Edwards and the Gordons can get healthy and come back for the week after, and maybe we can get our team back. So maybe the bye is a good thing this early. So, all right, so those are the stats. Let's talk about a little off during the week, some things that I had read and heard, and then we'll get into how the Bears are going to win the games. But the Bears, apparently, I read this, I did not know this, before the Dallas game, the players had a players-only meeting. Yeah, and this one guy wrote, very unusual do this early in the season, but with the team, we have new coaches, new players, etc. And with Ben calling out the players last week before after the Detroit game and before the Dallas game, he called out the wide receivers, he called out the defense. So the team thought it would be great to get together and have a players only meeting, and in my opinion, it seemed to work because they played so well on Sunday. And you know what? It's true. I've been saying it the last 3-4 weeks. A lot of new players, new coaches. So you got to get them all working the pieces together into the puzzle, into the ball. We have to get them all together. So, and if the players wanted to do that, and good, whatever it takes to go out there and play a good game and come home with the W, do it. I'm proud of you guys for doing that, taking the initiative and doing that. Right on. That sounds like a good team who wants to win and play together. Don't you agree? And then after the Dallas win, I heard Kevin Byde, number 31, our defensive guy, he had the perfect response after that win, saying it's an important part now is to start stacking up wins. It was great to win that first game, you bet, but now it's time to win each week, noting there's still plenty of the season left for the Bears to get it right and get on a winning streak. I like that. This guy, ever since we signed him, he's been around the league a long time. He's always been he kept that team, in my opinion, last year together as much as he could because, you know what happened, especially after that Washington game. It was completely over. It was over, and he kept the team together as much as he could. So I like what he said. It was great winning. We needed it, but now we have to get win after win after win and right the ship. Well said, but I said right the ship. That was from me. So very good job, number 31, Kevin. Yes. This is what you like to hear from your players because they're responding to, the coaches. They're responding to the responsibility. They're stepping up, and this is what you need. You need leaders on this team to lead. Good teams have good leaders, and it makes a huge difference. One really nice note, which we haven't had in quite a while, is our quarterback, Williams, was named NFC Player of the Week. Right on, buddy. Yeah, baby. And Ben Johnson said he tried to recognize Williams in front of the team this week after practice, but Cabe was having nothing to do with it, Johnson said. He's very stoic, and he's already on to the next game. Now, who doesn't want to hear that? That, to me, is sounding like a very grown-up, mature young man. He is growing and maturing and getting better each day. Again, his second year. First year, you can't even count because that poor guy was on a team that was so messed up, so fucked up, that nobody knew what was going on. I was kind of shocked how much. I've seen the Bears do that in past years, a while ago, where it's just Nothing went right. No one took responsibility. None of that. And that's exactly what happened last year. Let's face it, Flus never took responsibility for a damn thing. And in my opinion, that loss in Washington was on him. Should have taken a timeout before that pass was thrown. We all know it. If he would have done it, it wouldn't have been caught. Bears win, and they might have kept winning, but they didn't. My point is, you just need people to take accountability, to be mature, to go out there and say, I play 110%. I want you to do the same. So, Cabe, I believe we have nothing to worry about. I don't know what they're saying back in Illinois. In a way, it's kind of nice that I don't hear a lot of the stuff. Now, I can turn on. I can get it online. But it's nice because then I can think about, I like to read more than listening. Because, of course, it's everybody's opinions, right? But I like to read more and then put it in my own words. And sometimes when you listen to these sports shows, it gets too much in your head. And then you start to feel things that you really don't believe because you're like, well, yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. And you know what? It just gets all clustered in there. And you know what? So I kind of like to just read, make my own opinion, and go from there. But I did see this. Ben Johnson, the head coach, really called out the offensive line this week and said they did a phenomenal job blocking, and they did. When was the last time we've seen that? It's been years. And when we're talking about him playing, so he said because when they're talking about Williams standing in the back of the field, they're talking about him playing with his feet, playing through the hitches, and yet he's not having to move off his spot. It really helps him out immensely. So basically what he's saying is he can starting to trust his line, even though it may be starting to cave in a little bit, but if he keeps trusting them and they keep coming through, he can stand there, look at his reads, and make his decisions. Pass, take off, or whatever. And when you don't get your feet all, out of place and everything else, hello. Okay, I'm sorry. I muted. I got so excited I hit my microphone and I muted it. But like I was saying, pickled. When he is in there, even if it's coming down, if he can believe in his guys like you see some of these really good quarterbacks do, he's going to get more and more and more better. That doesn't sound right. More and more better. Lynn, 67. He is going to get better. He's going to get more comfortable, and he's going to be able to see things faster and make his reads better. And maybe we'll see some more bombs like we saw last week, because with the defense being so hurt, it's now time for the offense to step up and start scoring points. You have to pick up the defense. And for many, many, many years, our defense has been carrying the Bears' offense. Now it's the other way around. With these injuries, the offense has to come out strong on Sunday, air-free, and play again. Now, the other thing I was reading, and I like this. So now Ben was watching. Ben got all the running backs together, and they all watched film of the past games. And Ben told his wide receivers he wants them to get through those holes faster. They need to get it going. There's holes. Last week and even the week before, there are some small holes. The line's starting to do it, but good running backs can get through those fast. Swift is not the answer. I know I've been saying it, but we have no answer on the team. Obviously, we don't have a running back that can do this, and it's unfortunate because a couple years ago, and I know a lot of people probably disagree with me because he was hurt, but he was playing better. They should have kept Montgomery, signed him, because he signed for the same or a little less to the Detroit, I want to say, but I could be wrong. But if you had David Montgomery still and you signed Swift then, okay, because Montgomery is going to get you those tough yards and get going. He's that power runner. I've said it a million times. Swift is your Swift. Is your Swift guy? Yeah, he's your finesse guy. And the one thing I will say about Swift, I got to give him props because I put him down all the time, is he's great in space catching the ball. He did have over 45 yards last week receiving. So see things they could do if they had another running back who can get those tough yards, and we don't have it. So Ben said, there were holes and you need to get through them, period. So let's see what happens this week, okay? Because he made them watch games. From what I understand, they watched all 3 games of this season so far. And they haven't been good. So what we need to do, okay, here's my 3s. Penalties, 5 or less. You know how I am about penalties. So destructive, so unproductive, undisciplined. And last week, we had 6, right? Yes. So it was almost to my 5. But look at the difference it made. Then there was some costly one in that game, but they overcame them. But 5 or less. Penalties have got to stop, and that is a lack of discipline, period. Okay? Penalties. Turnovers. Well, we saw what turnovers did last week, right? It changes the whole game when your team is starting to rack up 3 interceptions and a fumble. That changes everything. It gets in the opponent's heads. It gets our offense back out there, their defense back out, and our offense resting. But turnovers are huge. And I showed you that Geno Smith has thrown 4. So get in his face. The line has allowed 12 sacks. So even for a line that has not been playing that great, what did I say? We have how many sacks? I can't remember. 5. Is not great. And I'd really like to get Sweat in there to get some more because this guy needs double digits. That's what we frickin' signed him for. And again, another high-priced contract that has turned out a bust. So penalties, turnovers, and 3 and outs. No 3 and outs for the Bears. You've got to keep moving the ball. 3 and outs hurt your defense so badly because they need time to rest. And it's only an advantage for the other team because then their offense comes out and their defense goes back into rest. So you cannot have 3 and outs. And I think they only had 1 last week. So very important. You win my 3. If you are in there, 5 or less penalties, you're getting the turnover battle, and you're not doing 3 and outs, you're in that game. If not, you're going to win it. And I'm telling you, my 3s are right. So this week, it's pretty simple. Play exactly the way you played last Sunday, Bears. Air free, penalties down, doing your job, focusing on the field, coming out with passion, and just doing it. Everybody's got to come out and do their job 110%. Every one of them, especially on defense because we are so banged up. We would be talking so differently right now if Jalen Johnson, Gordon, and Edwards were in there. We really would be. And we're not going to be talking about Jalen Johnson. They said he's having the surgery. He could be back by the end of the year. We're just going to pretty much stop talking about him. But if we could get Gordon and Edwards back in, if we had them, that would help a lot because Edwards is he's a pretty damn good lineman, middle line guy, one of the linebackers, and Gordon is great in the backfield. So we're really missing them. So, again, play like you played last Sunday. You look like a real football team. And if you can do this, it's a winnable game. It is a very winnable game. But you're not at home. Let's show that you can win on the road now because that's huge to win on the road. I think after their bye, they've got some their schedule is very tough. They're the 3rd hardest schedule in the league this year. So they got a lot of traveling coming up. So really important also to win right before a bye. Losing before a bye just sucks because you got to think about it for another 10, 12 days until you play again. So Bears, please just come out and play like you did last week. And we got this. It's a winnable game. And if it's a Victory Monday, you know I'm going to sing the touchdown song, and it's going to be better. I sort of forgot the words. Well, you know I don't like the damn song anyways. Who likes that song? Come on. It was written in the early 40s. We need to update it. Bears, have a contest. Give away something for somebody to come up with a better. I've heard touchdown songs in other stadiums way better than ours, okay? So I just told you what it takes to win, and we can do it. I know they can do it. It's there. I was worried about the talent, but I saw it, and at the end of the day, really, the offense has to score as many points as possible to help our defense. That is the bottom line. I saw this article. I thought I wanted to say it because it's funny. I just thought it. So there's this guy, the owner, and it's called, oh my God. Oh, here it is. So it's the owner, and it's a hot dog place, and it's called Wiener's Circle. I love that name, Wiener's Circle. And last week, on Friday before the game, the owner said, if Caleb Williams, number 18, throws 4 touchdowns or more on Sunday against Dallas, on that following Tuesday, hot dogs are free for everybody. And as we know, he threw 4 touchdowns, and the owner came through, and on Tuesday of this last week, he said thousands of Chicagoans came out and ate their free hot dogs, and he said, and it was so nice. He felt good about it, and that's pretty cool because that costs some money because, people go when they hear something's free, they definitely should turn out more, but right on, I like that. That's somebody in the community helping the Bears. So somebody else step up and do that for this game, okay? But that is really, really cool. And again, if you just want to go there and meet the owner and be like, this is where the guy gave them away, it's called Wiener's Circle. I love it. Okay, and one last thing before I go. I was thinking about this last week when the Bears were playing, and it was gorgeous in Illinois, and it's nice here. It's in the low 90s. We're going to be in the 80s next week. So this time of year through May, it's just gorgeous here. So back in the day, I told you I have a million bear stories, and I told one last week, and I'll tell this one. It's kind of a bear story, but it's funny. So when we lived in Lake Villa, my husband and my son and I, and in the fall, we could have some beautiful fall days in Illinois, right? The colors are changing, and I lived in an area where there was a million trees, so it was a lot of work picking up all the leaves when they fell off the trees, but beautiful. And I was saying to my husband one day, I don't like us. It's gorgeous out. Why are we sitting in the house when we should be outside, but I want to watch the Bears games, right? Well, we had a really nice deck that my husband had built on our house. We had a 2-story. You walk in, you go up, you go out. So he built a really nice deck, and we had a screened-in porch over it. So we're like, my husband goes, why don't we bring the TV out onto the deck, put it on the table, and we can watch it out there? And I'm like, oh, great idea. Of course, this was back in the early 90s. We started doing this, and TVs were, big. We had this TV was about a 32 maybe, so they were like this long, but in the back of them, they're like this long because they had that picture tube in it. Do you guys remember? Now, old people can remember this. Young people don't because everything's flat screen now. And that TV had to weigh, had to be over 50 pounds, I swear to God. So, and what we would do is, and my husband, unfortunately, was sick around this time, and he wasn't able to pick up the TV. So I picked it up. I brought it out. I'm only 5'1". I brought it out, put it on the table, and then we had to have the cable cord, come out. So we had a screen door, and we just shut it for the most part, and we would sit and watch Bears games out there every Sunday. It was a lot of work. The worst part about it was if I drank some beers during the game, by the time I had to carry that TV back in, it got a little scary. Because 5'1", and you're picking a 50 to 60 pound big TV. It was interesting, but so that's one of my little fun stories that I like to tell. I'll be telling on Fridays. Fun. I got a million of them, and some people might remember them if they've heard them before, but so what? So anyways, I'm done with that. So maybe I'll be at that game. If I am, you'll know Monday. Or you know what? Maybe if I'm at that game, maybe I'll do a short That's what I'll do. I'll record a short and I'll upload it. So you can look through the day to see. If you don't see anything uploaded for me, you know I had to stay at home. There are advantages of staying home. You're not spending $200-$300 for a ticket. You're not spending $12 or $14 on a beer. You don't have to stand in line to go to the bathroom. You can pause the TV when you do have to go to the bathroom or get a beer. So there, and you can see better. So we'll see, right? We'll see how it goes. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate your support. It means a lot to me, you know. And I hope I give you some good information, my opinion. This is what I think, and that's all. And again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I always leave my show the same way. Be kind to one another. Respect each other. It's all about kindness and love, because this world we're in right now is very tough and it's very scary. So let's just stick together and be kind. At the end of the day, it is so easy to be nice to people and smile. That's all I'm saying. For me, do that. So Bears, bring us home a victory on Monday or Sunday with a W from Vegas, baby. And if I'm not there, Bears, you go and do it, okay? Because don't make me come down the street and rip one of your arms off and beat you with it, okay? So bring me home a victory. And on that note, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby.